Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video, going through is the priority tier list for the R6 Esper. So it's been some time I actually update this tier list. It's since the 3.4.9, which is 4 months ago, and that is before the Esper balance patch as well. So this video here, this tier list here, is the continued version from the previous one which I made 4 months ago, and definitely there's gonna have some changes, right? So let me explain the tier list again for those player or for those viewer who didn't watch the previous one. So if you don't understand what is the detail or what are the explanation, like why do we put them in this specific tier, you can go watch back the other video. But for now here, Rush R6, which means this Esper that I'm putting in this bracket, they have the highest priority to rush them to R6 if they are actually useful in PvE content. Then the more the better means this kind of Esper here, they don't need the R6 effect to actually shine in PvE content. So let me show you an example, which is, let's say Sakura R6 give you extra stats, which is actually the R6 value you want to rush for. But in the meanwhile, Chuyao is also very active in PvE content and Feng Shun as well. While meanwhile, these two Esper here, the R6 effect doesn't really benefit too much in the content because Chuyao here reduce the attack and reduce the shield is more towards PvP, and Feng Shun here the shield is also more towards the PvP, because in most cases for our current PvE content, the shield doesn't mean too much unless there's a special event such as an anomaly in the future that requires shield more. But for now, their effect of the R6 don't really matter too much, so I will put them the more the better. Maybe up to R5 is where they should actually stop. Then for not worth chasing Reso doesn't mean that they are not good in PvE, just that they don't need Reso to work in PvE. So for example, Hilda here is a very good Esper for PvE content, but because Hilda doesn't need the R6 effect to work in PvE content, so she is definitely not worth chasing her Reso. If you're just using her in PvE content, you definitely don't need her Reso 6 effect. So this is how I'm going to judge the tier list, depending on the R6 effect value and how effective are you going to use in PvE content. So all these Esper here are already at R6. The free Esper, which is like Donna, Camille, Lucas, they are the free Esper, so definitely a rush. And then this is a very endgame content that is only focused on leaderboards and bossing content, which is mainly like Falsetto Fantasy, Desolate Land, Ritual Miracle, Speedrun, and Trial content. Then this tier depends on how impactful is this R6 affecting in PvE. So this is how I'm going to judge it. So there's some changes since the last patch, which is like Nora buff, Yuhime buff, all those stuff, right? So the only changes I would say, I will put Nora up to the more the better, because I won't say Nora R6 is like a must thing. Do you need the 100% counter attack chance? Not really, but I would say that the more Reso on Nora, the better she is. And if you want consistent, of course the 100% chance will make it a lot more easier for your life. But 50% chance is also a very good value for you to trigger the counter attack. So she doesn't need R6 to work in PvE, but the Reso value is already good enough for her to work. Okay, then the rest here, let me see, Gabriel, all these things, they are still the same value in my opinion. Like you hear me, PvE content, not really a lot of usage as well. Yeah, so that's all for these Esper here. So now they are the new Esper that I haven't added into the tier list. So Osana here, I would say the more the better. Wait, let me think. Yeah, I would say not worth chasing, just because Osana doesn't need her Reso to work in Dark Starlord. Like if you're using Osana, most likely you're just going to use Osana in Dark Starlord or maybe in APAP. But in most cases, you don't need to chase her Reso. Like she already will do what she does, just that her Reso make her better, but not really that high priority if you compare with the other Esper here that is at this tier. Okay, then for Lushang here, I would also say not worth chasing for his Reso, because Lushang R0 is all he need to actually shine. Then R2 is more towards PvP. Then R4 and R6 is like a plus minus usage. Don't really need to chase for his Reso, cause you only need one copy. Then for Meta Yunchuan here, I would say not worth chasing Reso. He has zero benefit in PvE content, Like, you don't need the damage reduction. He's more like a PvP Esper. Then for Yijing here, I would say it's like maybe R0 to R2 is already all she needs. She's more important in her Divinate. Like, you need Yijing's, let's say R0 D3 Yijing versus a R2 D0 Yijing. Yijing, who have a R0 D3, will win because she needs the accentuated effect from the Divinate effect. So I would say not worth chasing Reso in PvE as well. As long as you have Yijing and Lushang paired together with Yijing's Divinate, that's all you need. Then for Elif here, definitely rush the R6 because she's the best consistent bossing DPS you can have in the game. She conquered basically every single PvE content that you are able to use her in, like in APAP, like in Andras, all 3 Falsetto Fantasy bosses, Desolate Land. She basically conquered every single PvE content. Definitely one of the best rush R6 Esper. Meta Liling here, I would say the more the better, or maybe rush R6. Maybe I'll put him in rush R6, but we can't get his Reso anymore unless they actually make some rerun event, or maybe they let us use Ripple Box in the future or Club Sticker in the future, or else we are not going to get his Reso anytime soon. But I would say that the R4 effect helps, the R2 effect helps, and the R6 effect helps in his in the content that he shines. So I'll put him the highest tier, just because if the content that you're really using him now, the R6 effect is a game-changing effect. So I would say put rush R6. If you don't agree with me with this part, maybe I'll put him up to the more the better, but it's between this tier. Depends on how you think about Meta Liling. Okay, but then the next one, Wernlock here, I would say the more the better. Extra stacks is good. Most importantly, the R2 effect is a game changing. R6 effect does help a bit, not too much, but I would say the more the better for Wernlock, because the Reso on him definitely is very important. Then for Bidao here, I would say not worth chasing, because Bidao value in PvE is kind of like 0, and then he don't really shine in any kind of PvE content for now, and definitely not worth chasing the Reso. Then for Slon here, rush R6. Every single Reso on Slon is very important. Like R2 helps, the R4 damage is very important, the R6 makes you able to speedrun Chronos more. Every single Reso on her makes her damage output even stronger. So definitely one of the best rush R6 Esper as well. Then for Nathaniel here, for PvE content wise, not worth chasing the Reso, because there's no content for Nathaniel to actually shine in PvE content. Like yeah, but basically there's 0 content for him to shine, so not worth chasing the Reso. Then for Moriyama, for PvE content, I would say not worth chasing the Reso as well. There's nothing much for Moriyama to shine in the content. I know some players use him for Ritual Miracle, but I believe that R0 is all you need to actually use Moriyama. Then for Zihe here, I would say the more the better. Let me think. Cause Zihe R6 effect is game changing, but yeah, I would say not worth chasing Reso for Zihe as well. Because Zihe actually R0 is all you need to increase the damage taken. I know R6 makes the thing faster, but it's not worth to invest so much Shimmer Reso on Zihe just for extra S3 cast to make it faster. It's more likely you use the Shimmer Record on the other Esper like Lushang or Unas here. Unas R6 and Champion R6 is more game changing in PvE content compared to Zihe one. Then for Mingshaw here, I would say rush R6 because he is a free Esper, and basically that's the only reason why he's at the rush R6. So this will be my final tier list for the R6 priority tier list for 3.4.16, which is the last tier list for 2024 as well. I'll update this after a few patches next year. Like, we're gonna gather more new patches Esper, then we only update it, or unless there's gonna have Esper balance changes. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down what you guys think about it, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Gen MP, Yaki Shiba Tails, Kami, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Acne, Code Wilderness, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwalks, Rimu, Chawny, Antonio Winterspoon, Marlene Williams, Cragran, Riku Fred X Iris, Calamity, Rocco Standions. Thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest tag. Thank you so much for Code Wardeners, Calamity, Acne, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Chawny. Thank you so much for your support.